Adrian Rashad Driscoll. How are you?
Peace, Latasha. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for being here today.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you have done a lot of things, and you have quite a journey. And I was just excited to get you on the show because I know how you have talked about like the hostile culture, and canceling that. And you've done some work with education and speaking out on those types of things and homeless. So all really wonderful things. And so
Mhm.
I just wanted to bring you on and pick your brain a little bit, see how all of that came about and see how maybe you feel with the hostile culture and mental health and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to chat about it. I the weird thing to me, Latasha, is nobody's happy right now. And usually I won't go into politics ever, but like usually in any political climate, one side is happier than the other side. It's like we won, hooray. Nobody's happy. And I think the reason is because everybody is lying.
Yes.
Everybody is lying. You said, "Oh no, I have no my African American friends." Okay, well, what's Idris Elba? Well, he's African American. No, he's not. He's British. What are you talking about? Your whole thing is to create filters, and you're lying through these filters, and that doesn't sit right
Mhm.
because most of the time, and I'll be very, very transparent and candid.
I love it.
You
Yes.
I'm not getting offended by things people are saying. I have some white person getting offended for me. Oh, you're not upset about that? No, no, not really. I got other things to be. What? I
Yes.
got other, I'm busy. Okay, like,
Yeah. No.
and that's what we're teaching. No, no, no. I don't want you to be a better person. No, 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 no. I want you to look like you're a better person. I don't want you not to be racist. I want to make sure that you don't look racist. I'd
Hmm.
rather you be honest.
Yes. Yes.
Be on if you don't like this kind of person. If you don't like black people, white people, Asian, hey, look, that is your own silo of bigotry. Live there. Great. But if you're honest with me, I know that if I don't hang out with you, I'm in less danger than if I hung out with you.
Right. But, on that, sometimes, and I've been, guilty and I don't want to say victim, but this has happened to me because I'm a very straightforward, this is how I am, and this is what I think, and this is what I believe, right?
Right.
Um, if what you're believing and what you're saying doesn't align with others in that moment, then you are instantly out. Like you are out and everything about
Yes.
you is wrong. And it doesn't matter if you are doing your job correctly, it's not good enough, right? Like,
Right.
and I had this experience, right? Like, there was a director who came in, knew nothing about the job. We were teaching her, right? And
Yep.
yet, the rudest person you'd ever meet in your life,
Yep.
so rude, would come in the
Yep.
office and said my name funny constantly. You know what I mean? But I
Yes.
pushed up against her. Like I wasn't like, oh, okay, well, because of her role, I got to be respectful. No,
Right.
it goes both ways. Do you know what I mean? Um,
Absolutely.
and because of that, you know, um, I was vocal about how she was treating others, and everyone else was afraid, right?
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
let's not talk about that, Latasha, because if you do, then you're going to be the one in HR and you're going to be the one to lose your job. Fine, fine. And did that happen? Yes, but I was okay with it. I was okay
Really?
knowing that because I was standing up for what was right and how shitty somebody was treating people,
Right.
you know, and because of that, and it didn't align with what, the others felt should be happening,
Right.
then yeah, I was like, which is fine. It was a blessing in disguise, but it goes with being truthful. Everyone says they want the truth, but then when you give the truth, sometimes it's really not unless it's what they want to hear.
Yes. You want the truth when it's convenient.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Convenient truth. Okay. Like this is the thing. When you want fairness only when it benefits you, you don't care about fairness, you care about privilege.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. Okay. I don't look, this is an unpopular opinion, but I'll tell you, if you don't like me, if you don't like what I say, if you have a problem with me, I want you to tell me.
Yes.
Hey, look, you're not my tribe. right? There's a big difference between hate speech and things that we inherently know are right or wrong,
Hmm.
and things that we try to filter. Adding extra syllables doesn't make you a better person.
Hmm.
Like, stop, grow up. Okay, that's the end of it. And so many people think, oh well, I say this and I'm politically correct. Political correctness is a weapon that has been created to make people afraid, because our society is based in fear. Most things that should be very good and positive, religion included, are fear based. Okay. And we as people spend more time trying to stay out of hell than we do trying to get into heaven. That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yes. But um having, on that topic, you also have, and I mean I love this. You also have um the ones who, scream the loudest that they're Christians are also the first ones to be throwing them stones, right? They are the first ones to
Yes.
line up and be like, you can't do this, you can't look like that, you can't act like this, you can't say that, right? And so I grew up in a Pentecostal environment.
Sure.
My uncle is a pastor. Uh, and so I that was what I knew, right? Now,
Sure.
as I am older and I have my own kids and family, I don't Pentecostal's not where I'm at, right? And it's not because I don't believe in God, because I 100% believe in God. And I know that if it
Sure.
wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here, right? Like I have
Thanks.
witnessed his work personally.
Yep.
But I don't believe that we are the ones to tell people how to live their life, right? Like we have a Bible, pick it
Yes.
up, read it, have a relationship with God, right? And you'll do what's right between you and God. That's not for me to say.
That's it.
Yeah, and I just think that's where again the judgment comes and people hearing the truth of, well, that's just not what reality is. Why not? Because that's what the Bible says. Like the Bible's telling me these things, but you're taking the scripture and flipping it to your narrative of what you want,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yeah.
But if you have that conversation with certain people, that's not it, right? Like that's not how the scripture reads. And so while I think a lot of people do want to get close to God, I mean, I would hope so, but I also hear, how it's hard to trust, Christian people and how it's not, the best environment going to church because the pastors or ministers are good. And
Sure.
while I also hear that, you have that everywhere, everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere. Yep.
Um, yeah,
Yep. And it's
it's
going to happen. It's going to happen because you saying, I want to be closer to God, is the complete opposite of saying, oh, people are like this, because you don't want to be closer to people. You congregate in an environment, right? And I won't go into religion and blah, blah, blah. I won't even go into the facets that I agree with or disagree with. But like, you're not there for those people,
correct.
right? And that's the same exact thing. Like, I believe, instead of trying to add syllables and be in this cancel culture, and I've been on each side of it. Okay, I got called a monkey a month ago. Okay, I still get the heavy parts of racism. I'm a black man in America and I'm successful. Are you crazy? Like, I get it from every angle, right? But I know who's my tribe and who's not,
Hmm.
and I've learned, and I'm learning actually. This last year I had to change my mindset so I actually would learn. But the worst thing I could do is not build with you. Go listen to what someone else says. Cool. You're not my tribe, right?
Hmm.
My opinion is that everyone should be able to do or say exactly what they want, as long as it does not negatively affect another person. However, with that same tenet, we as people owe it to society to police what we let negatively affect us.
Yes. You know, I was just having this conversation with one of my really good friends about how you have certain groups of people, like it does not matter what you say, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's not their agenda, it's not right. Like
Yes.
we have to wear, and I'm making this up, but we have to wear the color pink. And if we're like, no, I want to wear purple. Well, these are all the reasons why you can't wear purple. So let's wear
Yep.
pink.
Yep.
So how do you think we one got to this point, and where and how do you think we could move forward from it?
I think right now, we as a society, so I take just as much blame for this as I give, because to be a part of society, we all have to assume some level of accountability. We've forgotten that it's not that deep, right? And this idea of inclusion, although beautiful, right? It's impossible to include everybody.
Mhm.
We're too complex as people, right? If I include everybody who likes pickles, well, guess what? I'm excluded because I hate pickles. Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So what's the right way to make a burger?
Mhm.
What's the right way? No, it's subjective. I understand that everything that I believe that is not subjective, I have potential to be wrong about.
So maybe people coming to the idea or even taking their brain to the idea of they're not always right.
It's narcissism. I've never seen a society of such. I don't want to say, no, actually, I do. I've never seen so many average people be so arrogant. Everybody is the best. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm the best. Why are you the best? Well, because I am. Okay, so you should be a manager now. You should be a producer. You should be the director. Why? You haven't done anything. You have no experience in this topic, but you should be the director. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
I've had people tell me, a person tell me that they should be able to stand over the shoulder of my business partner while he's mixing a song. Well, my business partner is one of the best engineers in the world. I should let you tell him what to do? Are you insane? Get over your ego.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
disgusting. It's
Yeah.
gross. I've had people say, well, no, I know what the black experience is, and they're not black. Guess what? You don't. Like, I will never understand what it's like to be a woman. I will never. I will never know what women go through. I will never. And I also will never say that I understand because I don't.
Right. Yes.
I'm an ally. I'm a friend. I can have compassion. I can have a level of empathy, but I can never understand.
Hmm.
It's impossible because I will never be a woman.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's that's what I'm saying. To understand that you don't understand is just as valuable as understanding, if
Right.
that makes sense.
No, no, it does because I agree 100%. And that's, I'm always preaching that.
Yes,
Um, I'm a huge advocate for mental health. And I have heard it all. How, and I'm not saying there's not people out there that use maybe what they have been through or what they're going with as maybe a crutch, but that doesn't mean everybody, right? Like that's just not a blanket, like here we are. So, you know, getting people to talk about mental health and getting people to realize just because someone has mental health doesn't mean they're damaged. It doesn't mean like they're, you know, this fragile person that can't work or because I've seen that like there's something wrong with them, right? Which is extremely sad because that's really not the case. But we're also talking about people who have one, never experienced mental health, and two, they've never like interacted with someone with mental health. So all they're doing is basing it on their education. Nothing against education because I believe everyone should, be able to get an education. But that stigma where everyone who has an education is the smartest and the best and know it all is not for me and what I
absolutely
see
not.
and what I have experienced the reality.
Absolutely
In
not.
fact, it's the furthest from it because I would much rather interact with someone who has been down that road, know what it takes, understands it, than someone to sit in front of me and tell me they understand me because they read a book.
Yes, that's exactly it. And we're so unique that we feel that we can be above. Oh no, I understand more than most people. The truth is, without living an experience, you cannot understand it. Okay. That's the truth of it. And, with mental health, growing up, men weren't allowed to talk about mental health. I've had depression since I was 13 years old, right? And I've been through all of it from, the psychiatrist gave me a bunch of pills, that was horrible, got off pills, look, everybody has problems. Everybody
Yes.
has unique issues. Everybody has something that people envy them for, and also something they're like, sheesh, I'm glad I'm not them. We all have that.
Hmm.
It's getting past your arrogance. It's getting past your narcissism to say, I can't be wrong because no, you can't. You can't. We're all wrong at sometimes. You
Yes.
know, if you've ever driven in one of those lanes, they got those lanes, and you see 30 cars lined up, they're going to the right. They're
Yeah.
going to the right. They're
Yeah.
going to the right. You see 30 cars lined up, and there's one car, and they go cut off somebody that's 20 cars up. And you're like, I
Uh-huh.
waited. You waited. That one car, oh, they're the jerk. How dare they? Urgh, I hate them. Until you're running late.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're the hero, sometimes you're the jerk.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I'm sorry when I'm the jerk. I'm happy when I'm the hero. Anything else, enter explicit, expletive here. I don't care. Like I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. If you like me, like me. If you don't. You know, you don't give me, you don't get my network. I don't care.
Right.
I whatever.
Right. Realizing you're not for everyone, and you're okay in your own skin, even if that means you're vocal, right? Or you stand up for what you believe in, or, you have depression or PTSD, whatever the case might be, your people are for you, and whoever isn't, well, that's on them. And I think
That's it.
more people need to get to that mindset. Um,
Yes.
you know, when we talk about the professional field, um, again, there are some really arrogant people. We got those CEOs, those presidents who have some major egos.
Mhm.
And they, for whatever reason, don't understand what it is to, I mean, as they shouldn't, but, to be a single mom, to have depression, or to struggle with something. So to them, what is big to us is very nothing to them, a stressor for them is breaking their nail or something, right?
Sure.
So how, I mean, like, how, you were an actor, right? Like you've done a lot of different things, and you've been around a lot of different people. How did you interact with those individuals?
I I interact with everyone the same way. Like I don't believe in comparative suffering. My issue, although it's affecting me in a certain way right now, is no different than your issue. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's the truth, right? Oh my gosh, this is so, and I had this thing, and I sat with it for like 3 years. I was at a concert in downtown, and the concert, I guess a fight broke out or something happened. They canceled it, right? And I'm standing next to people, and I hear this girl say, "What? This is the worst day of my life." And I'm like, "A concert getting canceled is the worst day of your life?" And I judged her so heavily. I judged her heavily. And then I look, and it's all perspective. Because something that I may be like, "Oh my gosh," over, someone else will be like, "That's it." Or someone else is going to say, well, there's something happening in Gaza, and there's this happening, Vietnam flooded, and there, and Africa's hungry. Oh, well, compared to what I'm talking about, that's not that bad. But I'm in my moment, so that's that bad. We, it's all perspective. Why am I trying to engage how bad your situation is when it's not my situation? It's not for me to rate. It's for you to
Right.
rate. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
it's like someone saying you're being a jerk. You're like, no, I'm not. Okay, well, I guess I was wrong. No, that's for me to say my perception of you in this moment is this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you want to change it or you value me enough to change it, great. If you don't. That's literally it. But we need help. We need help as a society. This ain't it.
No. Yeah.
This ain't it.
Yeah. and so how, I mean, I know how with me, and I'm guilty 100%, but I have a very rough time I, being looked down on, right? Because my title isn't high enough, or being the single mom, whatever the case might be. And so again, I know I'm guilty of this. I respond quickly in moments of me feeling that. Um, and I'm not saying it's the best thing to do. I know it's not, and I know when I'm not in those moments, I can look at someone else and tell them, "Hey, that probably wasn't the best thing to do." Like maybe we should respond a different way. Have you found yourself in a situation where something like that might have been happening with, either a, a coworker or another actress or actor, like where
Plenty of
you had to
times.
take how was your response, and how did they take that? Like, how did it affect you with that relationship?
I'll tell you a title, and I want the audience to check this out at one point. Mexicali Soup. If you haven't read the book Mexicali Soup, and I'm sure there's videos on YouTube that are like 3 minutes, you got 3 minutes. Look it up.
Write that down.
And that will tell you kind of how I live my life. Listen, I'm honest. At every given moment, I'm going to give you me, Adrian Rashad Driscoll. Some days I'm going to be at my best, some days I'm not. When I'm not at my best, I admit, hey, I wasn't at my best, right? When I am at my best, you know that I would take a bullet for you,
Yeah.
right? So if I get to the point, and I've had moments, and I'm like, man, that was shit. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have reacted that way in hindsight, because hindsight's 2020, but I'm being honest.
Right.
If I yell, or I'm emotional, or I cry, or I'm angry, or whatever it is, I'm being honest with you. And the thing is, you can't ask for that level of honesty on one side when it's good. You want me to be transparent. Hey, this is good. The money's here. This is happening. Oh, great. You can't ask for that level of honesty on one side and not demand it on the other side. Or then you're telling me that you only want me to be myself when I'm happy. I'm not always going to be happy.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if you can only love me when I'm happy, then you don't love me.
Yes. Yeah. Um, let's, I mean, still keeping with topic here, but
Sure.
you had mentioned that you were homeless at one point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But don't
Can
skid
we
row.
just, yeah, can we just, talk a little bit about that? I mean, because again, you have done tremendous work. And so I never would have looked at, your resume and thought in my mind, oh, yeah, this guy has had, some struggles. This guy was homeless, right? Like, I'm sure no one would look at you and think that. So, um, how did you get to where you are, and how was that moment of in those that journey, um, reflecting
So
on
2010, 9, something like that. Moved to LA on my tax check, 1,400 bucks, figure out life, started my production company shortly after. And it's been one of those journeys that every time I panicked and freaked out, things ended up a lot worse. So now I'm looking at things like stoicism and like not panicking and, understanding things are going to be okay. So me being myself, again, true to my nature, I was my ex-girlfriend and I were living together, and we were moving to be closer to her job. I own my production company, so I can work anywhere in the world, right? So we're moving to be closer to her job. And in that interim, we were staying with her parents for 2 weeks until our apartment was ready. And we got in an argument, and she told me to get out. You don't say that to me. Not to Adrian Rashad. I'm like, okay, cool. And I left, you know. I left, and for I think it was like 3 months ish, I was homeless, lived in a homeless shelter on Skid Row, learned what that community had. And the thing about homeless people, or people experiencing homelessness rather, they share.
Yeah.
They share better than we do. So if I have a lot and I won't give a little, and they have a little, but they're willing to give a lot, then that shows that something's wrong with my way of thinking. And, you know, after those 3 months of really, really bad experiences and feeling helpless, there was I won't make this too long-winded, but there was a time I was walking down the street and I was never like begging for change or anything like that. I just didn't I lived in a homeless shelter, but I was walking down the street and I saw a person who was worse off than me, I'll say. And they're asking for change. They have a cup asking for change, and this kid, he's young, not a kid, but he had his headphones on, took change out of his pocket and threw it on the ground. And I'm like, and I had not been so angry, but I knew that what could I do?
Right.
I'm in no position to help. Like, I want to be like, hey man, don't pick that up. Here, I'll give you cash. But I didn't have cash. I could have used the change he threw on the ground,
Right.
like honestly. But I realized that the only way to fix the problem is stop being a part of it, you know. And I got my tax check and I did it all over again. And being and experiencing homelessness is one of the best things that ever happened to me because 3 years later, I partnered with the United Way. And, since that time, over 12,000 people have received supportive housing because of a project that we did together. So, yeah,
That's incredible. That's
I'm
great.
glad it happened. Absolutely.
I'm glad the homeless community has someone like you advocating for them and doing things for them to help. So, I mean,
Forever.
thank you. Thank you for being that person. So where are you at now? Like in your journey of life? Like where are you?
I had a really rough year. There was, some things happened that weren't very nice. People, um, a person betrayed me, and then that started, the primacy filter. If I go say, Latasha did this, people aren't
Mhm.
going to come talk to you. They're going to
Right.
say, oh, well, Latasha does this. And it's all right, go ahead, good luck. But again, the worst thing I could do is not build with you. Cool. You don't like me? Cool. Don't. At this point, I don't even care, you know.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
but now we're doing crazy things. We have a big activation coming out that we're announcing uh, top of next week. Art Basel Miami, so that's cool. We're helping Africa for a few things. I'm on a board of this company called Thinking Huts.
Hmm.
So we're 3D printing schools in Africa, industrial 3D print. So that's cool. Forever on the East program, so teaching there, teach all across the country. A few education programs are coming out later this year. Um, we're doing some things. We're about to come out of stealth mode. So this is just like a sprinkle, but we're about to come out of stealth mode in a very major way. And you know, now that I'm past that whole, like it messed me up. I had a nervous breakdown last year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's I was working on a project about slavery and
Mhm.
like seeing black pain for a year is not good for your psyche, especially if you're a black man, right? But I'm better than I've been in a very long time. You know,
Good, good. I'm so happy to
yeah,
hear that.
we're building us. It's
That is,
incredible.
that is good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so before we wrap up, what is something that you would offer
Hi.
the audience? Oh, I'm so sorry. He loves to pop in
What?
when he knows I'm doing a show.
My son does it all the time. Yeah, he'll pop in, say hi,
Uh-huh.
talk about himself. Yeah, I love it.
What is something that you would offer, some advice that you'd offer the audience of like if they're going through a hard time right now, or if they're just needing something to like be like that that voice, what would you suggest for them?
Focus on what you have and not what you don't.
Yeah.
It's so valuable to go through your Instagram
Hmm.
to go through your LinkedIn, to look at whatever contacts and just say, wow, I get to do this. I'm tired, but I get to do this. I know people would kill to be in my position. Yeah, I mean, they've slandered, they've said whatever to try to get it, and good luck. Hey, take the throne if you can. But that's not arrogant, and it was. But like people would kill to be where I'm at, and I have to understand that I've earned it. I've worked hard. I'm here. So every time I have a bad day, or every time I have, something that I'm like, I need more of this. You always need more money. You always need more opportunity. You always need more job. Look at what you have, because gratitude will fuel your pipeline. That's the truth of it, you know.
Mhm.
And then two is lean on your network. We talked so much about the people that aren't your tribe. Well, who is? You know, because most of the time, to your point, you have a disagreement, you have an argument with someone, and it's like that happened, and it shouldn't have happened. Maybe you were wrong, maybe I was wrong, maybe we were both wrong, maybe neither of us are wrong, and we're just all arguments are based on confusion. You know, so
Mhm.
I was confused or you were confused. Maybe we were just both confused, but usually it's not that deep, and we kill relationships that are valuable over things that aren't that deep. So give yourself grace, give those around you grace, and say, look, maybe they weren't being their best selves in the moment. If you live to those tenets, all the other things will melt away. They have no choice to. They have no choice but to. Sorry.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much for taking time to come and be a part of the show. I love everything that you shared, and I would love to have you back on again, because I feel like we could just have a conversation forever. So
Anytime.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your energy and your lovely experiences with us.
I appreciate you. Yeah. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me. This is great.